Hi everybody, welcome to Chow Time. I am Spike Spencer, your chef du jour, here in my kitchen, and today we are going to be making risotto. Risotto. Very, very simple. What is risotto? Well, risotto is rice. Thank you. Good night. Risotto is a very special kind of rice. It's called arborio rice. It is a thicker, shorter grain, specifically designed for risotto. And it comes in a really vacuum-packed, really nice. Love it. We're going to open that up. There you go. Now I want to show you risotto because it's actually incredibly simple to make. People make things, I think people make things way harder than they need to be, and that doesn't have to be. But what we have here is risotto. Oops. There we go. We've got a really beautiful grain right there. You see that? Let's see if we can get closer to you. There you go. There you go. Don't lick it. Don't lick it. There you go. Nice. This is a nice grain, very thick, and it will allow this dish to get creamy. This dish takes a little bit of time and some patience, but we're going to get it going as fast as we possibly can. So the first thing I want to do is start with my base. My base for this is going to be onion. A little bit of onion and a little bit of garlic. We're just going to saute that up as quick as possible. And I'm going to show you a couple of tricks. There we go. As I usually do, tips, tricks, tools, and techniques. I throw them out at you. Let's hit it with some olive oil. This is a great one pot dish, or one pan dish. And when you're done with this, you can do some other things that I'll tell you about in a bit when we're done with this. I will show you. I will share, because I'm all about making things go. So if you've got some food, some leftovers, I want you to make the most out of your food budget, right? So we have a little bit of onion. I'm going to hit that with a little bit of salt. The salt, as you know, pulls the moisture out of the veggies. And then I need a little garlic. I know I have garlic around here somewhere. There it is. Garlic, or as we might want to say, garlic. I don't want too much garlic. We're going to put this in, unless I really wanted to make it a very, very garlicky risotto. We're doing a very plain, very simple, basic risotto, which the base of onions, garlic, and then I'm going to do a little lemon, parsley, and Parmesan. So you can use that as a base for just about anything else you want. Okay, let's get that in there. Get it doing its thing. You do what you do, okay? You do what you do. I love you. Yeah. Okay. Move that around a little bit. Turn this up. I don't want to crank it too high. I don't want to burn anything here. I don't mind if I have a little bit of brown on it. That's absolutely fine. Because browned onion, you know, the nice little browning on the edges just adds so much flavor. Now, how does risotto work? Well, we're going to let that go for a second, and then I'm going to add some risotto into the pan. I'm not even measuring. But risotto, pretty much the same way of like any rice. You're going to have a cup of risotto, 2 cups, maybe 3 cups of liquid, whatever you're using. But I'm just making this little pot for one, little pan for one, and I'm just going to throw it in, and I'll show you how easy it is. It really is. Okay, we're getting a little bit here. Excellent. Now that I've got a little bit of heat here, I'm going to throw in the risotto, and because I want. There we go. Not that much, just a little bit for me. Because what I want to do, I want to toast, basically, the risotto a little bit. And that will allow the skin not really harden up, because, I mean, it's going to be penetrated by all of the liquid, but it just gives it a little extra added structure that will allow this to move forward. And this will take some time, and this is a perfect date night dish, by the way. I wanted to put it in my cookbook. I don't think I did. I wanted to put it in my cookbook. because you're going to be adding and stirring, and that's pretty much it. You don't have to sit there and watch it, but you can add it and stir it and get everything in and let it cook down, go do a couple of things, come back over, and then you go, oh, it's dry. I need to add some more liquid. The liquid I'm going to be using, and this is classic, is a chicken broth, and I've got a nice organic chicken broth right here. Most of these chicken broths, they don't really have much flavor, so use your own if you have it. I've just been cooking all this morning, and I've got some stuff to do. And then I'm going to have a nice white wine. White wine? I have not been drinking this yet, by the way. This is a Sauvignon Blanc from the Marlborough region of New Zealand, which is a fantastic place for white wines. Sadly, I'm not really a white wine guy. All right, let's check out the toss in action. Yeah. I think that's pretty nice. Let's start putting in our liquid. A sec. Okay. I could start with the wine. If it was really getting in the base here, I would deglaze. Either one of them is going to deglaze the pan, but let's start with some wine. Here you go. It's going to get loud. There we go. Okay. Now what's going to happen here is the wine is in there and it is bubbling away nicely. Now as the rice expands, it's going to be sucking in all that moisture, which rice does whenever you see it, but you don't see it because you're watching it in a pan that you have a lid on and you can't really watch it, right? Well, here you get to watch the whole process. Now I've got onions and garlic and wine, and it's all infusing in this nice steam. Now, if you need a facial, here's the time. You're right over here. And you get a really nice facial. Don't listen to my health tips, or my beauty tips anyway. I mean, look at this. So, don't worry about that. But we're gonna keep doing that. So now here's the part where you could walk away, and you could come back. Now, this is gonna take a bit of time, and so this is the perfect thing where, like I said, for a date, this is the perfect sort of dish where you can sit in the kitchen and chat and talk and say, hey, darling, would you add a little bit of chicken broth for me? And stir and chat and talk, and, it's a nice little dish. It's hard to screw this up, let me just tell you that. And I've had the dish in Venice. I think it was that... I'm trying to remember because we had risotto. I know I had risotto there, but there's an island right off of Venice, which is like internationally known for risotto. I'm going to turn this down. You hear that? It's cooking a little too fast. So I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. There's this, I think Anthony Bourdain did a show on this little island, and they're like the world-renowned best risotto place, and these guys are like flipping the risotto. It's going like 3 feet up. Schwap, schwap. It's amazing what they can do. I'm not doing that. You don't have to, believe me. But you want to let this cook down, and once all of that liquid is cooked down, then you add the next liquid. We're working with, like I said, chicken broth and wine. Do not do cream. I'm sure there's somebody out there that goes, no, I do cream all the time. Okay, great, that's neat. If you want to do cream, I would say finish it off at the end with a little cream. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't see why not. You could, if you wanted to. Well, there we go, a little whoop, whoop. Okay, now check this out. So it's getting very dry. Getting very dry down there. So now I'm going to add my next little batch. Just going to bring it up. There we go. Just a little bit there. Crank it up a little bit again and let it bring it up to another simmer, a nice simmery boil action here. There we go. Get that all incorporated. So what I was saying is like prosciutto or pancetta. That's the other one I was thinking of. Something that has a nice depth of flavor, a little saltiness. That's what I did a lot when I was in Italy. My wife and I, we honeymooned there in Italy for 6 weeks. And for basically 1 month of that, we were in one spot. We had an Airbnb outside of Cinque Terre. And I know I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again because I got a lot of time. But so I was cooking And we had this little bit, it was a place called Monelia, a little bitty town. And I mean, it's like literally like everything shut down from like 1 to 4. And there were 2 little grocery stores in town. Teeny tiny town, right? And there was like 4 restaurants in town. 4 restaurants, a couple of bars, things like that. Lovely, absolutely lovely little town. Loved it. But we went to, all my cooking was whatever meat they had. We would go down and go, okay, what's that? I'll take that. That's some chicken. That's some veal. That's some, I don't know what that is. I'll take some of that. And I would just make different dishes. And one of the dishes I made was, it was a meat and bean kind of a stew, not quite a, but anyway, so I would cook these wonderful dishes, and my cooking got better. I don't know how. I had like fresh rosemary from outside in everything, number one. And there was a lemon tree. And there was a little dog that I couldn't stand. And sadly, there was a pizza oven that I never used. But, to be honest, it'd be hard for me to do pizza in the pizza oven because I have to make dough and I need wheat, and Kim is gluten intolerant, so didn't do that. Anyway, so in Monelia, and you can look this up online, there is a restaurant called Asirto, Assirto. And we were honeymooning there in 2014. And we went down to this little restaurant, and we were like, hello, can we come in? And there was like nobody there. And he goes, you have a reservation? I'm looking around like, I think you're good, man. But that's the way they do it. It's like, well, you need to get out by, whatever. I said, oh, we're going to eat quick and just, we'll be out by 7:30, whatever it is. Okay. So his name is Luca. He ran the show there. Absolutely amazing food. I mean, you just basically did what Luca told you. He would say, so what do we have today? He said, we have the sea bream. It's caught right out there by Marco. We have this orange infused olive oil from over there, over the mountain there. And it's just all these wonderful things. And there was this Iberico ham, Iberico pork. Was it Iberico or Serrano? It was Iberico. It had only been fed on almonds and sliced. The leg was over there, and he sliced some of that. It was, it was so good. So good. What was it? We had the bream. We had a fresh fish salad. What's the name of that? Anyway. I could go on. It was the best. I have pictures. I can go back through it. It's like, it was so wonderful because Luca would come over and he'd say, oh, here's some wine. What do you want? Try this one. Great. He'd pop open the thing and go, here you go. Have as much as you want. We'll just figure it out at the end. Fine, whatever. And his little daughter, who was probably 3, 4, came around and stole some little olives off her table. It was just a wonderful, beautiful Italian experience. I love Italy so much. So here's the cool part. Okay, let me see if I can get it 2 feet up. No. I'm going to add a little more wine. I like to alternate a little bit of broth, a little wine. Not too much, so I want it to be able to come up to that simmer there that we had going on. So it'll come back up to that in a second. Because every time you add the liquid, it's going to bring the temperature down a little bit. So I'll crank it up for a second and then bring it back up. So anyway, this Asirto, we went again. And this was like a $200-300 meal, euro at the time. And it worth every penny. I'm telling you, every now and then you got to splurge and go like, you know what? I don't care. Don't even show me how much it is. Just let's eat. And that's what we did. So we were honeymoon. And it was so good. So we ate there twice and pretty much had everything they had because it was just like, a few items on the menu, and Luca would tell you what to eat. And here, this goes with that, drink this. Oh, drink this. And boy, did we. It was awesome. So we found out like 2 years ago, I don't know how we found out. Kim was looking at something online and she's like, oh my God. I said, what? She goes, look at this. So there was an article in Forbes magazine, and it said, the best meal on the planet. We were looking up Asirto for something, and it was Asirto. that restaurant where we were. Best meal on the planet, 2015. So we had the best meal on the planet twice. How you like that? That's pretty cool, I'm gonna say. All right, so here we go. We are working on our risotto. So it's just bubbling away, doing its thing. You can see from there. That's pretty much what you want. Now, this is a little bit high, but I'm trying to do this a little bit faster, so I'm going to keep it moving. So I'm here, so I don't mind having it a little bit higher. It's like if you have a roux, which I'm going to do a show on. I'm going to do a shoe on roux. I'm going to do a show on roux and show you a couple of interesting things, because the roux, you have to stay there and keep it moving. Or do you? We'll see. So this risotto, I can feel on the spatula. I can feel the individual kernels. Kernels? Grains of rice. I can still feel them, so I know it's not releasing yet, and it's not to the creamy stage where it needs to be. And that's okay. There's no rush on that. While we're waiting, I'm thinking about my plating. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to put it in this bowl over here. I know that. And I'm going to have a little bit of parsley, because parsley goes really well. Oh, by the way, when you have parsley, look through the parsley a little bit, because if you have any little brown curled up bits of parsley, and you get that in a bite, it's one of my biggest pet peeves in the world. Absolutely hate it. I don't like it when you get a salad and there's like little brown stuff in there. I'm like, what? You know, it's like, could you not find that, or did you just give me a crappy dish? I mean, what's happening there? There's no love there. In your 5-star places and Michelin-starred places, and just doesn't even have to be that. Just decent places. They're gonna wash everything, wash and separate all of the parsley and lettuce and everything, and they're gonna look at every bit of it and say, okay, we need to make sure, we got to throw this part out, we got to do this, and make sure everything is clean and clear and good. Okay, now we've got another level here, another layer I'm going to hit with some more chicken broth. Now chicken broth, I can test it. I can look at this and go, meh. So let's hit it with a little salt. Just a little bit as we go, not too much. But we'll hit it as we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yo, 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 here we go. All right. So as that thickens, it will get closer and closer to being done, and we will do a couple more things. I wanted to get a little bit of lemon zest. I have a shredder here, not a big deal. A little light. I don't have the microplane. Don't really need that. I'm just going to get a little bit, because the lemon zest adds, I don't want to say a depth of flavor, but like lemon juice is great. It's tart. The lemon zest adds a little bit of more floral aroma, if that makes sense, and a touch of bitter, just a touch, because you know, sweet, salty, sour, bitter, umami. You want to have all you can. So we're looking at a little salty, not really much sweet here. This is very savory, so lots of umami. There might be a hint of sweetness from the wine, from even the lemon juice sometimes, depending on what you get. There we go. A little bit of lemon zest. I will finish that off at the end. A little bit of onion there. Parsley, onion, that, and Parmesan. Parmesan. I have a bag full of Parmesan ends. It's funny because I was watching, what were we watching? Queer Eye. I think it was. We were watching Queer Eye. And he was talking about Parmesan. He said, okay, this is the ends. You don't eat the ends. You can't eat the ends. Yeah, you can. Just going to let you know. You can. I've done it many times. What I'll do is I'll save all those edges, and then I will chop them down into little teeny tiny as I can. I will chop those down, and I will throw those in soups, stews, my tomato sauce, or gravy, if you want to say that. And it just dissolves, or it has this little touch of bite to it that you're like, oh, it is so good, and it adds a really nice depth of flavor. I did that in Italy, so I continually do that now. So always save your Parmesan ends, and play with them that way. Now, as I'm getting nearer the end of the risotto here, I am seeing, I'm feeling, really, you cook with all of your senses. I am feeling these grains of rice loosening up a little bit. And so we're getting closer, closer. All right. So risotto is a perfect canvas for anything you want to try. I made a risotto a long time ago when I was first kind of learning risotto. It was a strange, interesting, cheesy risotto. And I swear to God, it tasted like Doritos. I know. Freaky. Weird. I don't know if I could redo that again, but I probably had some smoked paprika, some cheddar, and things like that. But you can do whatever you want with it, really. It's such a wonderful, like I say, palette. It's just a great canvas to throw things in. And it's really, the sky's the limit. You can take this risotto at the end, put that in like a bowl, and throw chicken on it, or salmon, or whatever. It depends on how far you want to go with it, because what you want is something called al dente. If you don't know what al dente is, it means to the tooth. And that is a term that you're always going to hear in Italian cooking about pasta, rices, things like that. It's to the tooth. So when we have pasta, let's say you go to the Olive Garden, I can't talk smack about the Olive Garden. I worked there for 3 years, so I guess I can talk smack about the Olive Garden. But pasta is so often overdone in America if you go by pasta, because you want to be able to feel every individual strand of spaghetti or pasta, whatever it is. Not to the point where it's like hard in the middle, you don't want that crunchy. That's terrible. There's a very specific level called al dente that you can pick out all the individual strands, and it's just got a wonderful mouthfeel. That's kind of what we're looking for here. Actually, that's not kind of what we're looking for. That's exactly precisely what we're looking for here. We want to have a nice bit of pushback, I guess you could say. Here. So here's one grain. We're getting really close, actually. That's nice. It needs a little more. A little bit there. Put a little salt. This may do it. I'm not 100%. But here's the thing. What you do is you sit here and you just kind of play with it and stir it around a little bit until it gets to the level that you like. You can make it creamier. You can make it not crunchier, but you can make it a little more to the tooth. You make it to your liking. And if you wanted to, all my Italian friends, close your ears, please. If you really wanted to, you could go way far with it where it's really mushy, and it kind of becomes more like a dessert / oatmeal-y type of thing, adding sugar, honey, maple, things like that. I'm sure that's done. I haven't really researched that, but it's pretty much universal. Every cuisine has something like that, where they take a grain, cook it, add cream or sugar or something like that. The same thing with risotto. Why not? I don't know if it's one of those unspoken rules, but the thing I'm learning about rules is there are no rules. And every way you cook something, somebody has another way of cooking it. That you're like, well, I don't know about that. Like, for example, I never really thought about taking for example, chicken thigh, and putting it in a cold pan. That's a technique. I never really thought about that. I was like, no, you have to oil and you got to sear it and all that. No. I saw Jacques Pepin do it. Jacques Pepin put it in, do a chicken thigh, and put it in a cold pan, set it down, and then turn it up to medium high, and then left it for 20 minutes. I think he covered it too. And 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, it was perfectly done on that side, and he flipped it over for a couple of minutes, and he's like, it's done. What? Amazing. So I am a student. I can say chef. I'm really a glorified cook. But when you say cook, people are like, what? When you say chef, they go, oh, you get it. So, I mean, I would be, to be honest with you, it's like, I'm not like superstar chef. I'm not like, I haven't run a restaurant. I don't want a restaurant. I'd be like a chef de partie. You know, I could cook certain things and I would be the chef in one area. Let's say that. But I'm an all-around cook. So I've learned a lot from my time in restaurants, from just doing my own training, and God bless the Food Network. Man, I got a PhD in the Food Network. Here we go. I'm very close. Wow. That's tart. I'm not going to be adding much lemon. I'm going to be adding a little more of this stuff. A little bit more of that. More salt. That is a very tart white wine. So it's good that I'm going to be having Parmesan cheese, which is going to add a depth of flavor that it needs. I'm not going to add any more liquid now. I'm going to let this do its thing. Turn down just a hair. And as this cooks down, so I know I've already got that to the tooth, almost there, right where I need it. But it's not quite done. I'm going to let some of this liquid evaporate so that it looks really, really nice, creamy, and just beautiful whenever I plate it. I'm going to plate it over here. You want a nice, lovely dish to plate it in. Okay, now I can see it. That is looking so nice, everybody. Now, another thing that this was what I was going to tell you, is when you have your risotto and you put it in the fridge, you have some leftover risotto, the next day is the perfect day to make what's called arancini, which I am going to do. So for my shoot tomorrow, I will do some arancini. And the arancini is basically you take the cold risotto and you ball it up, and then you roll it in breadcrumbs, and then you fry it in oil. So you've got this, and sometimes you'll stuff in the middle of it, you stuff some cheese in there. I may do that, I may not, depends on what cheese I have available. But you stuff it in there, like mozzarella, something like mozzarella, or provolone, or something along that, or even smoky Gouda would be an interesting thing. And usually have a dipping, like a marinara sauce, something very simple. And you just dip that, and it's so good. It's such a great way to use risotto. All right, now we're getting down to it. Okay. All right, now we have a really nice, see how it's thick when I move it? It's nice and thick. Let's give it a little quick nibble. That is lemony and beautiful. All right, so while it's in the pan, I'll go ahead and add a little bit of this. Okay, so we've got the lemon zest. I'm going to hit a little bit of Parmesan here. And then let's hit it with, I said Parmesan. That was parsley, and Parmesan is coming up now. You can hit it with a little Parmesan, a lot of Parmesan. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put Parmesan, and then we're going to mix it up. The Parmesan is going to get all throughout exactly what we're shooting for. We're going to get everything mixed in. Lovely, beautiful, fantabulous, gorgeous. All right, and we'll take all this and we're going to plate it. Or bowl it. Pepper. I would hit it with a little olive oil, which is what I do with everything. Throw some nice green onions on there. A little floral crunch. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We have a fabulous lemon, parsley, Parmesan, basic risotto. This could be a side. This could be a main dish. You can do whatever you want with this. It is amazing. Like I said, blank canvas. Add what you want to it. Sprinkle on some bacon at the end, or some crispy prosciutto or whatever. This is beautiful. I highly recommend make some risotto. Make it on a date. Make it for yourself. It doesn't matter. You don't have to measure. Just pour a little here, a little there. Done. Couldn't get easier than that. And that's what I do here on Chow Time. Let's eat.